levels were fine. Their breathing was fine for their age, and they don't understand. There are just some people who won't get sick from it.
Some or the majority of people?
No, it's not about the majority. I'm just saying because
you cannot say that one person.
Right. So why do you take these studies that have a sample sizes of 40 people and say, oh, you're definitely going to get sick from this now?
Because it's not 40 people. This is a known thing that too much sugar.
It's too much sugar is not good for you. But saying it as for everybody, if you take it you will get sick. No, it's not true.
Okay, so if out of 20 people, 2 don't get sick, you're gonna tell me that?
No, but who are you gonna say that there's 18? Where are you getting this number?
I'm just saying 2 like this, okay? Because it's a small amount of people. You cannot use.
Yes, it's not a sample size.
You cannot use. No, I'm saying no. That's not what I'm. No, not the sample size. I'm saying you cannot use the exception as the rule. That's just plain stupid.
I'm not saying it's the rule. I'm saying you're saying if you smoke, you will definitely get sick. And I just finished telling you that there are people they're studying.
Okay, Justin is right.
That's not about being right.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. You're telling me, okay, if you smoke, all of you will definitely get sick over the long term. And I just finished giving you an evidence of people they're studying to figure out why they don't get sick.
And what are they studying? What sickness are they studying
They're not
about?
studying a sickness. They're studying people who didn't get sick.
But what's sick?
What? Oh,
no, but I'm
serious.
serious.
They don't have any diseases. They're normal for their age. There's nothing wrong with them. And they smoke like 3-4 packs a day. They don't get it. That's why they were looking into it.
And they have their breathing is fine?
Yes, everything was normal.
Their mucus is fine.
Everything was normal. Everything. They did all the tests and they don't understand. They were looking at their molecular structure, their DNA to figure out what they made them different.
So bring this to me and
I will
look
definitely show you this. I'm not just saying it to win a point here.
But I want to see it.
I know, but what I'm trying to get you away from is 100% of the people will get sick over the long term. It can take 20, 30 years. It's not true. There are people who are just different. Like, I can do this, but you might not be able to. There's a reason for that.
What's the reason?
It's just
for different.
This. Can you do this?
I don't know what you're doing.
It's double jointed of the thumb?
Oh, no.
Okay. I'm double jointed.
Yeah, but that's has nothing to do with what you've eaten, what you've consumed.
No, but it's a genetic thing, and that does make me different than you. I might be white. I might have long hair like you. We might even be from the same fucking continent. But god damn it, we're not exactly the same.
Thank God.
You don't lose hair, we're losing hair.
Ivy's not losing hair.
Well, you know, my
yeah,
hairline is getting
deeper. It's not the same
deeper.
thing as it was 20 years ago, whereas yours, you've said it before, your hairline is pretty much where it's always been.
Mostly.
You see? And you drink a lot.
Drinking actually lowers testosterone.
Drinking alcohol?
Yeah.
So when that every time people get drunk, they really want to fuck?
That's just libido. Libido and testosterone
yeah,
are
that's
two different
things.
Huh.
Also, Armin drinks just as much as you. He's losing his hair. See what I mean?
But does it mean that everyone
Armin has also having less nutrients.
This is true. He only eats pure meat. I understand.
And it's not good meat either.
It's
full of antibiotics.
I think he's also the healthiest of us.
I don't know if he's the healthiest.
No, he's definitely. He just coughs a lot, but he's fine. He's the strongest of us, no matter what.
That's his bone structure.
Bones have nothing to do with muscles.
Yeah. The stronger, the bigger your bone structure, the more you can pack on, and that is the main reason he's stronger than Dano.
Okay, he might have bigger bones, but Dano has more muscle than Armin.
Yeah, but bone structure plays a big, huge factor.
I really don't think.
Yes, it does.
The density of your bones between 1 inch and 1 1/4 inch.
Yes. Yes.
So just the 1/4 inch makes him, that small guy, stronger than Dano, who's really built.
I think bone structure, I don't know about strong, probably, but I think can make you more solid. You know, I think same thing for
more stable.
You can take the same wood, but if it's set up in different way, it will hold things better. So I think with muscle is the same thing.
Fair enough, but he also just finished saying that his nutrients aren't there, and I can guarantee you he's not getting enough calcium.
but Armin's bone structure itself, like how thick his wrist is, it's not normal. Like his wrists are thicker than Dano's. Dano's actually is able to do this, and it's at the end of the day, bones play a huge factor.
They might. I don't know.
You know this. I know this.
Sure, all right, but what I'm trying to say is Armin does everything against all the rules of a healthy life, and he's fine. Not only that, he's maybe for now, but you're just because you follow a certain thing doesn't mean you won't be fine. You'll be fine
I know.
forever.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the Pastors Council.
So we don't need to use this.
Oh, I figured you guys were going at it. I'll
was
just press
good.
record and.
Oh yeah.
make it
So
happen, you know?
Bastards Council episode 48.
Eight.
And where were we back to talking about? Yeah, the bone structure. I found out recently that the dry skin that I get is related to food that I'm eating, and I have to figure out what it is.
Now you can change everything, and you probably still have dry skin.
Well, we'll see.
Now, are you gonna admit that if you change your whole diet, you try everything, and you still have dry skin, that it wasn't what you were eating?
No, I think it is. It's the
You think it is now, but if you try everything, you test it out, and you still have dry skin, will you admit that it wasn't what you were eating?
it could be my environment.
It could be, but will you admit that it wasn't what you were eating?
Yeah, but it could be what I.
It
It
could
could
be.
be.
How long does it take for the body to adjust? You know, like if you change your
It depends on how
what
well
you
you-
eat. You know,
well,
like
you know
does it
what?
take a month, 6 months, 3 years?
I don't.
Like,
It won't take. It won't take 6
Actually,
months.
No?
they found some new things. So, suppose your grandfather
Yeah.
had, for the longest time they thought that we just pass on our genetic predisposition to our kids.
Yeah.
It's actually a lot different than that. So our genes they call it epigenetics. Our parents' deficiencies, nutrient deficiencies, will affect our kids. Well, sorry. Let me say it differently. I realize that didn't make sense. Your parents' nutrient deficiencies
Yeah.
have affected your size at birth and have affected your problems that you have right now.
This is true, and
Okay.
also the hormones that your mother had when she was carrying you.
Yeah, which is related to partly of what her parents ate and how she was eating.
Yeah, you can go down to before human history.
No, they just found it up to 2 generations. So my
Before
grandfather.
you go on, that doesn't make any sense though. If it keeps going backwards, it'll always go backwards.
No. Okay, yes, but I'm talking about a certain deficiency. So like my grandfather, who was starving in the war for a good period of time, had like no food and shit, and whatever the stress level, blah blah blah. Came back, had my dad, my uncle, whatever. They're all skinny, short people. Give birth to me, and
That's what
I'm
know what
saying.
you mean. Okay, yeah.
But now, because my dad had better nutrients than say his father did, or my grandfather, I ended up being taller. A little bit more bone structure.
That makes sense because my father was taller than my grandfather,
Right.
and I'm taller than my father by like a considerable margin. And I think I saw that study in North America. They're seeing people get taller quicker,
Yeah.
and that has to do with the better.
Yeah, it's same
better
here, man.
nutrients.
My dad and my mom are way shorter than me and my brother.
Yeah.
At least I would say 6 inch.
And if you go to
Now, did anybody in your family go to war, or if they didn't, do you have a huge family? Like, do they come from a huge?
No.
No.
mine
Trying to
was
figure out, like,
Well, you
was
know what?
the
I cannot
factor?
say
It was
because
old school Portugal, my parents-
My
my grandfather.
grandfather died when my dad was 1. So the grandfather that I know
Right.
went to war, but I'm not sure about my dad's real dad.
So
you know?
there's
So I'm
another
not-
study where like also what you fear type of thing can be related to just your parents. So it was a study with mice, but they shocked mice when they went to go to a specific area or like they bit onto something. The offspring of those mice also feared that shock without actually ever having that shock for them. There was no shock for them, but they still feared that whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
So that changes when you have something like that like can hurt you. Your molecular structure for your DNA will change so that you know that you don't do that, and you pass it down to your kids. And they still have that. It's a irrational fear for them because they've never had to deal with that. but this probably can explain for stuff like people who are afraid of needles, people who are afraid of spiders, or irrationally. They never had a problem with spiders or anything, but they just fear them like crazy.
I get that. Is it like natural selection a bit, like how wolf became like?
Well, no, natural
dogs
selection
and-
says that. Well, it is kind of like
it
natural
is a bit,
selection,
right?
but
Well, they
it's-
speculate that actually wolves became dogs because of humans.
Yes.
and
Yeah,
not-
exactly,
yeah.
because they always took the nicer one and then did the dog. So it's kind of the same
it's
thing. a
kind
bit?
of like that, but this one it works quicker than what they're saying. They're saying
Okay.
over generations,
Yeah.
many generations,
Okay.
the same type of DNA comes together, and you weed out some of the bad stuff. The people who stayed alive longest, but this was you got shocked by something too many times. You know never to touch that again. You fear it now,
It's,
and you
it's
had
somewhere
a kid
on your DNA.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you pass that on to your
Yeah,
kid.
that
who's
fear
gonna
was
have that
passed
fear.
on. Yeah, which in turn helps them stay away from dangers like that.
Yeah,
But is it
because
a
they-
DNA or just the way I would raise my kid? You
No,
know, 'cause
no,
if I'm scared of
it's-
something,
it's
like
pure DNA.
since he's a child, I'm gonna be
it's-
scared.
It's
so it's gonna-
probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
But what they found is that we as humans, the reason when we're born, we're not like animals. Like animals, if you notice, like after a couple of days, they're already walking. They're
They're able
pretty
to-
much
yeah.
very much on their own. We, on the other hand, have a lot of blank DNA. And that's why we can't walk. We in fact, we don't even realize, they understand the perception of distance. And they said that like babies, when they see, let's say, somebody go behind a wall, to
They
them
think they
it's
disappear.
merging or merging, right, with the thing. Whereas us now, we've come to understand, well, no, you just physically went behind it. But as a baby, they're constantly learning things, and they learn this through their own experience of dropping things.
Same thing with like learning language, and they speculate that it has to do with the fact that the human body, when you're an adult for a female, is small, and they have a very small crevice to push the baby out, right?
Yeah.
And the baby's head can only be so big before the mother dies, so the brain is smaller, which takes, it takes that the long time before they're fully developed to be able to comprehend. So maybe 14, 15 years. We say 18, but before that, we're able to make decisions on our own about what's good and bad. We're just growing up here. We're stupid with that shit. You know, we have rules and we want to break them.
But small things, like these little things, it's, I guess, if you look at it from nature, like the evolutionary perspective, if you were in an environment where you were always surrounded by a certain danger, I guess we've evolved to a point where, okay, if you have a kid, that kid is supposed to sort of already kind of have that fear of that, whatever it is that is dangerous. So I think that's where this similar concept comes around. It's just that nowadays we're not really living in a dangerous environment.
We're not. We're not worried about waking up and someone attacking you.
Or-
Like me, I'm
lion,
very
yeah.
scared of snake, right? Like for some reason, I just don't trust these animals. Like I don't mind like the way they look, you know, like they look kind of cool. But every time there's a snake in front of me and people are passing it around, like I don't want to touch this thing, you know.
Maybe a grandparent or
but
parent
my
had that
my
fear.
kids would. I wouldn't be surprised if my kid becomes a real fan of snake just because of the fact that I ate them so much.
Well, that might be a rebellious thing.
Well, I know, but this is how humans are, like,
at
I
the same
mean-
time, there's a reason why you're irrationally afraid of snakes, even though you've never had an interaction with them. It could have been like a grandparent that got bit by a snake, and like, I can't go there.
No, it's not even that. I just don't trust them. You know, because
DTA,
No, but
don't
it-
trust
you know, like-
anybody.
well, I heard a story once, but I mean, I was scared of snake before that you know, you feed them mouse, right?
Oh,
Or
yeah,
mice.
yeah.
And then let's say you touched it and then you have the smell on your arms. If you have it on you, it's gonna smell it, so it's gonna bite there
Yeah,
because
but
it's smelling it.
A bite.
So I just don't.
A bite isn't that bad.
I don't want to get bit
I
by
know.
a snake. You know what I'm saying? So I really just don't
going
trust
back
them.
to that, whether it's from the parent, like the conditioning from the parent being afraid of it.
Yeah.
These mice were isolated from their parents, and to go with that effect for humans, adopted children, even like. Even twins and whatever, if they're separated at birth or just take one child separated from the parents,
Yeah.
live with their adopted parents all their lives, didn't even know they were adopted. They take their biological parents' personalities, not their adoptive parents. So it's very much a nature over nurture, and the twins always acted the same.
But they might adopt certain values, they might adopt certain things, but there's a
Personality,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
The values may differ 100%, but the personality, like my personality, very loud, very obnoxious and whatever, but like if you
And-
separate that and give it to someone who's very quiet, very timid, they still will act like
no,
that.
no,
Like,
like,
there
I
could be
get
two
it.
Vins. There could be two Vins.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's say Vin is raised by one set of parents, and the other Vin, same parents, but was adopted, right? So Vin, we know he's loud, can be like in your face and whatnot, but he's raised where he's like, okay, don't be an asshole, don't be this, don't, whatever. The other one has asshole parents, like, and everything. So, and sees how his parents treat people and everything. So now you have, so they're both loud. So, right?
Yeah.
But now one realizes this is how you treat people because he saw that's what your parents do.
Yeah.
And the other, so there are certain things that apply that they learn from the parents, but there's just actual characteristics that
They're
are
very similar to the biological parents.
thing.
I get
Yeah.
it. It's like in RPG, right? If you're a mage, you know,
Right.
like we're both gonna end up with different mage, but the core of it is the same.
Chorus, yeah, exactly. No, but that's
It's pretty much it, right?
that.
Not where I was going with it. All right. Yes. So to this whole DNA structure, yes, you can pass down stuff that changed in your body to fear
Yeah.
something. So that's why I'm more interested in that. What else can change so quickly like that?
Well, I don't know, but there was something I wanted to say that was related to a bit about this genetic stuff because you were saying when you change your food, how long does it take to see
Oh, yeah.
Your
results?
body
Yeah.
like to refresh.
Are you talking about let's say losing weight, or are you talking about like health issues?
It was more your health issue, like your dry skin.
depends.
You know, like if you do a cleanse, like how much does your body actually take?
I think it depends on how far along your issue is. Like,
Okay.
you know, like they've shown that people can reverse diabetes, but if if it's been years that they've had diabetes and you know they're at the point where they're going blind and all that, well,
Yeah,
I think at
it's
that
too
point
far
it's
gone.
too far
Like,
gone,
if
right?
you have cancer at stage 4, you may be able to reverse
Yeah,
it, but
the chances are like,
very
you know,
smaller.
Yeah.
Going with that, shit.
So like, yeah, in my case with the dry skin, I don't have extreme dry
I
skin.
know where I was going with it now.
But I'm most likely able. It's probably I got to find out what it is, and what they say is it's not exactly the food. Well, obviously it's food related, but what they say is it has to do with
Your microbiome.
Microbiome, yeah.
So-
and so like we can all eat, let's say, I don't know, let's say rice, right? But I might be eating more meat. You might be eating more, I don't know, fish. You might be eating more, I don't know, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it could be that the rice might be causing it, but that could just mean that I might have more of certain bacterias
Yeah.
in my intestines that is overpowering what are the other ones, whereas you might have those same bacteria but not the kind that are overpowering. And they found, there's this study that they found with rats, because rats have the similar DNA to humans. As weird
They
as
have
that
the
sounds.
similar, the similar DNA.
The similar. They have, I meant to say that their DNA is similar to
It
ours.
was funny. They have the similar.
similar.
DNA.
The similar. You never heard of the similar?
Go on.
So they made sure they took rats that had diabetes, and then they took rats that didn't have diabetes, and they took their gut bacteria and actually gave it to, like, I don't know how they did, if it was injection or whatnot.
That's where I was gonna go with it. But continue. So they
And-
basically they take the feces and they transfer it to the other
Right.
person.
Okay, yeah, that's
Okay.
it. And they found that over the course of, I guess a couple of months or whatever it was, it changed the gut bacteria of those rats that had diabetes, and they got cured.
So before you go on with that, this isn't just in rats.
Yeah.
Okay. You ever heard of the C. difficile virus?
No. Yeah.
what is that?
C. difficile is a stomach problem that you can get in hospitals, and for a long time it was notoriously
Yeah, it was
difficult
around.
to get rid of. My grandfather had it 4 times.
Oh, like the hospital flu kind of
Yeah,
thing.
that thing.
Right.
Okay, it's the name is in there. It's difficile. The reason why it's called that is because it's incredibly fucking difficult to get rid of, except up until like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, where they saw that gut transfer, that the feces transfer, where they took the gut bacteria from someone who was healthy,
Yeah.
transferred it over, and they removed that virus.
Sorry.
Ivy, if ever you get this, I
gotta
will
eat shit.
donate my shit.
So it sounds hilarious, feces transfer, but it's exactly what
Hey, if
happened,
it works,
and it's not where it's not where the buck stops. Where they got rid of a virus, they've taken. So you know that this has worked 100% of the time to get rid of that virus. You know that the microbiome has changed, right? It was for whatever reason, whether it was diverse or not, the healthy bacteria was able to defeat the unhealthy one. The things that were peculiar was they've transferred the gut bacteria from an obese person to a
yeah.
thin person, and then over the course of several months, by changing nothing in their diet,
Yeah.
the thin person got obese.
Yeah. Wow.
And
It's
the
fucked up.
opposite has happened too, where the thin person transferred it to a person who's obese, changing nothing in their diet, they lost all the weight.
The interesting thing about
I
this,
didn't know that.
yeah, and
Crazy.
the interesting thing about this is that they're looking at it as like, you know, here we are, we're looking at things like somebody has, let's say, heart problems. We're looking at, okay, let's give them medication, right? And medication, all it does is it stops the symptoms. But they're finding it's not 100% proven. But these are like forward-thinking doctors and scientists that are trying to do.
Yeah, they're
experiments.
looking into it
They're
because of
looking into this.
how positive the results have been
Yeah.
with the transfer, because it's a lot.
So there's speculation that what if gut bacteria is also causing, like, so at the end of the day, yes, food is causing our health problems, but indirectly they're thinking it's more what we feed this
bacteria.
bacteria. This bacteria is controlling everything, and they found evidence that it controls how we think,
Yes.
our
So
moods. It's fucked up. So it's more than just our health.
That is 100% true. And to go back to your question of how long it takes, there was one guy, but he went to South Africa to eat with. He spent, I think, a week or two with a tribe that had, was contacted, but they didn't do anything different. And
Oh, I
he
think I know what
ate,
this
he
one
ate
is.
the same things that they ate, and a lot of the things he's like, I never even heard about it. It was very diverse, and he went there for the express mission of changing his gut microbiome and seeing how long it would take.
Yeah.
And he took a sample before. He ate like them, and it took 4 days for his microbiome to be as diverse as theirs were.
That's it?
4 days, yeah. Just eating what they ate 3 times a day, and they
That's
had.
fucked up.
Yeah. So he said if you really want to change and diversify what you're eating, it won't take too long. And I can kind of attest to that, because when I know I'm going on a big trip, like let's just say Wildwood, where we're eating like shit the entire time, for the week before I will eat like shit so that I don't get sick. So I'll slowly do more.
It's true.
Yeah, because I can't I can be, I'll shit myself if I'm in Wildwood and I don't do that, and then I'll be okay for like after when we're coming back home. It's been 4 days, but before that I'll eat more and more of the stuff that, like, the greasy stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's bad. It's just that my stomach. I went for so long without eating it that my microbiome changed, and it wasn't able to digest it as properly. You can diversify, and that's why I do keep some greasy foods in the event where I'm on a trip and I need to eat it once, that I don't get sick from that.
Fuck, I'm fucked.
Why?
'Cause I haven't been eating greasy foods.
Well, okay, well, take one meal, see if you get sick.
It has to be. Oh wait, I had last week. Remember we were saying because Kelly was over and we know for the poker thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember we said we're gonna have poutine the next
Yeah,
day
yeah,
and all
it's
that.
true. Yeah.
Dude, we went all out. We didn't just have poutine. We had fucking pizza and shit. And I wasn't used to this shit. 'Cause for a while now, I've been eating just like really trying to be clean.
Yeah.
Had that stuff, dude. I was bloated, farting like a motherfucker, and I started getting a stomach ache that night. The next day, dude, it was hurting, and it was hurting to the point that I couldn't even
Yeah.
go to sleep after.
Wow.
And
But it's not like this is out of the realm. You used to do that before.
Yeah.
So like Wildwood, we've done that. The poutine, the pizza rolls and everything. So it's just I know that my gut will do that.
I think I shocked my sister. I think if
you
I would have
totally
eaten,
wait,
shocked
you
it,
eat too
yeah.
much of it. Is
yeah,
what
I
it
think
was.
if I had like two slices of pizza, and
No,
maybe,
yeah, exactly.
my poutine was massive, and it was a Mexican poutine. It had fucking spicy meat and jalapenos in it, so it really. turned
Jesus
out.
if you only had the 2 slices, you wouldn't have gotten sick. I guess.
Probably.
But if you did like 2 slices every day, you probably would have been able to do it by the end of the week. That big.
But
thing.
I think at the end of the day, I would end up having shits like Armin.
Oh yeah, 100%. The shit will always come out like that.
Garbage. That's not normal. We know that Armin doesn't consume normal food.
But what if what do you call that?
Microbiome,
yeah.
Are good, but we take the shit from the Wildwood trip. Would that still work?
No,
No,
you'll
It's
probably die.
still like
You'll probably die.
No, but I know
Let's
what
say
you
you're
mean.
healthy and
Let's say
you
it's a bad
take that
simple-
bad shit.
Yeah.
You're gonna get that bad shit
Okay,
after.
okay.
So here's
All
what,
right.
think about it. In Wildwood, what do? We eat exclusively fucking pizza and burgers and hard alcohol.
Yeah,
that's
that's
it.
it.
There's no water.
Yeah.
There's no fucking anything else. There's no bread. It's just pizza,
there's
burgers.
bread.
fucking Gatorade. It's or like
the bread is in the Wawa sandwich.
You're the only one who had it this year.
No, we all had it.
I didn't have it.
Yeah, didn't you come with us and we
No.
got wet in the rain?
No, that was you, Jimmy, and someone else.
And Armin.
No, it wasn't.
I
Armin.
know. We got our shoes wet. I know
Yes,
that.
I remember, and you were walking without your shoe on later. But
Yeah.
yeah, so imagine
They
just
flooded.
4 days straight of hard alcohol, and I'm talking about a lot of hard alcohol and
Yeah.
fucking burgers. At the end of that, you're not getting any nutrient. You're just like living off of Armin.
And maybe that's why I usually the last 2 times I went to Wildwood, the Saturday morning I used to stay in bed a bit longer because I feel bad in my stomach. Maybe it's because I need to make sure I eat like shit like a few
You
days
need-
before.
You don't have to eat great amounts, small amounts to get your bacteria back up to it, and it's not. You know the whole have a complete meal for food groups. That's not to lose weight. It's so you have the most like diverse bacteria, the most like you're spreading everything out.
Yeah.
So like still do that. Like if you want like, fruits, vegetables, dairy, wheat, that have it. So that and greasy shit too, so you don't get sick in case you ever have to do that. Sometimes you're stuck. There's a McDonald's right there. I'm fucking hungry. Let's go.
Yeah,
McDonald's.
it is good.
It's very good.
I like your mustache, by the way.
Thank you. Hey, I'm
know,
at
some-
$30 so far in my.
I saw that.
Oh wait,
in my,
I didn't even know you were
yeah.
actually officially
You should have
registered.
posted something.
I know.
had
I
no
didn't
idea.
push it that much. I think I
You should've.
posted it today. And
Fuck, I
in
haven't
November,
seen it.
I'm at $30 now. It's cool. I'm very happy about this. So it's like so far on average, I did it for a month. So it's $1 a day.
So are you full vegan now?
No, I never even said I was vegan. I'm just open to the
idea.
concept.
I'm
Like we
open
had
to-
some plates like here the last weekend, all vegan stuff. That's what I was telling John before. If I would have known it was, I probably wouldn't notice the difference because it tasted very good.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
no,
the
I don't-
cheese
Like
was,
cheese
yeah.
and pate and everything was very, very good.
But wait, I thought you weren't supposed to have cheese when you're vegan.
That's it. It tasted like cheese.
Oh,
it was
okay.
vegan
I
cheese.
thought it was cheese.
It
Okay.
didn't come from dairy.
No, I
basically.
probably wouldn't. I probably would like it too. I don't think it tastes any different. I just whatever works for you works for you. Well, please
Yeah.
don't preach to me about what I should be doing.
Yeah, that's what I don't. I think that's where vegans get a bad rep.
Yeah.
And it's because, it's probably like maybe 5% of them that are.
The loud minority. Yeah.
Yeah, the loud minority that then you just think, oh, here we go again. Oh, here's
Like-
why? Like, who gives a shit? Yes, we get it. You don't eat meat. You don't need to tell us, kind of thing. Like Val and Nick,
Yeah.
they don't eat meat. And you would never know,
Never know.
unless you were at a restaurant
When
with
we
them.
asked, and it was like cool. We
No
don't
one
preach
cares.
to Armin about him eating exclusively meat. But I'm not gonna be like, you shouldn't do that. That's so bad for you. You're not getting any nutrients. Armin will do what Armin wants to
The
do.
problem with Armin, though, I find is like, dude, what are you doing going to McDonald's? 2 double
oh man! Like,
Well, he
Big
does
Macs,
that.
2 double cheeseburgers,
Right, but
large fry.
That's all he will
That's it.
eat all day. He doesn't eat during the day.
Yeah, but doesn't make it better.
No, I'm not saying it does, but it sounds like that's a lot of food, but that's
So-
probably all
No,
of
but
his calories for the day.
It's not the thing that it's a lot of food. It's, dude, that's not good for you.
yeah, he sends pictures sometime of him waking up in the morning. He's like fucking like
we're talking
papers.
about
like
we're talking about a man
sandwich.
who I just finished eating, took a nap, woke up, had fucking mac and cheese with burgers, fucking went upstairs to get Nutella and fucking ketchup chips, and was going through all of them.
And you're gonna tell me that's normal?
No, it's totally not normal. But he shat the fucking toilet bowl.
And he puked in the
Yes.
bathtub.
And then right after he felt great. I don't think it's normal at all.
It
But
is
at the
not.
same time, I'm not gonna tell Armin what he wants to do to his body.
Yeah,
Go
exactly.
right
The
ahead.
funny
bro.
thing is, what I said in that same thread, I was like, man, my shits have been so much better. Armin right away, dude, you gotta tell me what you're eating because I can't eat like this. I can't live like this.
wow.
I know when I was eating purely with the protein and stuff for working out, my shits were different. I wouldn't say they were better. They were just different. They were of a different composition, if you will.
Yeah, it does change the composition of your shit for sure.
What's the difference?
I don't know. I just
Like,
knew it
are
felt
they
different.
thinner or they
You know what?
feel softer?
One
Like, what
thing
is
I've
it?
noticed, that depending on like what you eat,
Color.
your shits. Yeah, the color is one, but the shits, some of them are low maintenance. Like I take the toilet
Yeah,
paper, I'm like,
it's true.
oh, nothing.
That's so
nothing. Amazing. And I'm flushing them out of there. And you got once it's like wipe after wipe
Yeah,
after
it's
wipe.
true,
It's
man.
like, it's not bleeding.
At that point, you take it, you put it under your legs, you just.
That's true, man.
So yeah, there's that. I mean, just going back to this, don't tell me what I should be doing. I'm fine.
Yeah.
You do you. I'll do me. If you want to do whatever the fuck you want to do, go right ahead, man.
Good. Could I you there was something you wanted to talk about earlier this week, and we didn't get much into it. The
What was
internet
it?
neutrality.
Oh, net neutrality. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, so the U.S. was supposed to. I don't know too much about how the U.S. is running this stuff, but they want to repeal the bill on net neutrality that Obama brought in 2015. Now, the Republicans were saying it's going to give a better. It's for the consumers. It'll be a better
No
option
way.
for them, but it really isn't. It's like a cell phone plan, and Portugal has already done this, where they repealed. They said no, there's no net neutrality, and basically what you get is you get packages like your cell phone. So you have like social medias. You can just do that.
Unlimited, like no limit type of shit.
No limit, but all you getting is a social media.
Yeah, so
Okay.
if you try to go on other sites,
Yeah.
you can't.
And it's like $10 a month. And then you like, oh, you want to go to these websites or a streaming video, it's another $10 a month. And if you want to go to these websites, it's another $10 a month. You're building up packages to the point where you might spend $150 just to get everything on the internet.
Instead of like cell phone, I would say it's more like cable TV.
Oh yeah, good example.
Yeah.
And the opposite end of that is, providers, ISPs, can then go ahead and charge different websites different rates for. Oh, you want it faster? Sure, we'll pay higher, which then makes smaller businesses and people like us, it'll be impossible. So imagine we didn't have net neutrality, and we were trying to post on YouTube. It would be costly for us to upload, because then it would be completely different.
But that shit would get hacked so much, no? Like
You can't hack
You
an
just get the
ISP.
unlimited social media. I'm pretty sure you can like VPN that shit.
Unlimited social media is Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. It's not YouTube or Spotify. It's literally just the apps on your phone that you
Right.
can use. So that's a different package, a streaming video package. And the problem with that is you're fractioning everything off. You're making us spend more money on cable and stuff. And people have been flying away from cable for that exact fucking reason. So the U.S. is trying to repeal it. And the people like us who are in the know understand it. But it's the older people who don't understand. They keep being told it's better for the consumer. So they just believe it. They don't understand the specifics of what it could look like. It's instead of having all the internet unlimited for a certain price for your data, you're gonna have it fractioned off so that you can't. It's like DLC for a fucking video game. Instead of buying the whole game, you're just buying little pieces, EA style put together.
Yeah, that's
I don't
fucking
see that
terrible.
happening though. That would be
Well,
awful,
maybe
man.
not here in Canada.
No,
At
no,
least
Canada's right now, yeah,
At least with the current government,
Yeah.
they're like, no, why would we do that? But the U.S., because there were ISPs that wanted this to go through, and the old government with Obama, he said no. So he put a law in place, basically preventing ISPs from doing this, because the internet was made to be open for everyone.
Yeah.
It's a service to access it, but it's open for everyone. So if you want to look up something and you want to look up something completely different, like you can do it. And if one day, I don't know, you like just anything basically. So
Yeah.
and so basically what this can do is a lot of people get their news from the internet, right? Like we got this news from the internet.
Yeah.
But imagine we weren't paying for this and somehow, all we are social media hounds. Well, now we wouldn't have gotten any of this, and so basically this makes us dumber. Because
To give you another
like might
level,
say,
even
right?
if you went looking for the news to find out what was going on,
You
an
wouldn't be able
ISP,
to.
well, you could, but an ISP at their discretion could decide to block anything that they don't
Oh yeah,
agree with
that's fucking
politically.
crazy. Let's say I take the news option and I start a website about news. Like, how do I make sure that my website gets
Exactly.
Well,
unlocked?
That's another
you know?
thing. And
If
and
you-
they will charge you saying, "Oh, your site is slow. Anybody that comes to your site, we're gonna make sure that it's slow. So pay us more."
Yeah.
And your users after that come to your site is going to be okay. Are going to have
Yeah.
a fast service. So you as a small person that has no money like CNN, let's say, are going to be fucked, and you just won't get anything.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure,
and there
man.
might- there might
Fucking
have been-
Network Solutions gonna charge me more if I want my site to be listed. Listed. Let's say.
Well,
you know, it's-
and I think there might have
That's
been
crazy.
miscommunication, but an ISP could decide to throttle or block access to news websites that they don't particularly agree with politically. So If you're-
fucked. That's
yeah.
fucked, yeah.
So there's a lot of things that could happen in a war, in a government like that, and the U.S. having that is crazy because they run the internet. Like everything, you pay everything in U.S. dollars. The servers, Google is in the States and everything. They're gonna pay a whole lot more, but it's imagine being throttled like that. It sucks for TV. We fucking hate it, but that's just fucking TV. Imagine the internet where you pretty much get everything from. You need it.
Yeah, this is gonna be fucked. Like I hope there's enough people that are like realizing what it is, and because I'm it's one thing if Portugal does it. It's a whole other thing if the U.S. does it.
Yeah.
Because if the U.S. does it, you know what? Canada will probably be next after.
No, I don't think so. Not with this government.
You don't know. We don't
If
know.
you
But I'm
would-
saying like the U.S. has a lot of pull.
Right,
Yeah.
but we also have the CRTC, which is different from the government. That will-
FCC. They have the FCC. We have CRTC.
but the CRTC has actually changed a lot for the wireless providers. They've made them change shit like the fucking stupid access fees, the advertising.
but-
They've sued them several
Okay,
times.
fine.
But-
They've done some things,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we're still not very good. We're still
No,
paying a
I
shitload.
agree.
Like, why
Hey.
can't we have unlimited data?
I agree.
Like-
The states was going back off of that too. We should have unlimited data at this point. I agree. Maybe it's a population size. I don't know. I'm not
Or
gonna
even if it's
speculate.
not unlimited, like why not like I don't know, 60 gigs a month for
Well,
for $100.
The United States, they have plans that it's unlimited, but let's say your first 10 gig will be like LTE super
He's right,
speed, but
he's
then
right.
after that you get into a
You're
slower
throttled.
connection.
Oh, yeah?
He's right. He's right. Yeah.
And that would be awesome.
And there's
Still
nothing
be
against
okay,
it because
I
it is unlimited, and there's
Yeah.
nothing about the speed of it. You're
Right.
getting the 10 gigs at the LTE. After that, it's like 3G or something. But
yeah, so you're not getting the main bandwidth, but you still can use your phone for
with
the
our
internet,
current
you know?
with our
Right.
current government in place, they will not change that. They've already spoken about it. Net neutrality is important. If there's another government, whether it's liberal or conservative, that comes in, they will not. They would have to do it underhanded. They would not go on a campaign to remove net neutrality because nobody would go for them. Like, just based on that, the people on both sides agree that this is fucking stupid. It's usually middle-aged people who don't understand why it's called net neutrality and what it causes when you take it away. They think you're placing a barrier. At their level, they think the businesses are being cut at the knees. That's not what the case is. It's you're trying to keep the consumers from being cut at the knees by having this net neutrality. The older people don't get it. The younger people, regardless of what side you're on, pretty much agree that that's fucking stupid. You're throttling because a
course.
lot of the people who are even on any side use the internet purely to get their points across politically, musically, whatever. So for them to like, oh, I have to pay extra now for this shit, they're gonna say it's cheaper. It really, if you just want your social media, yeah,
Yeah, some people just go on one website, like for the longest, one of my friends for the longest time thought the internet was the homepage of MSN.com. They
Yeah.
thought it was, that's what they thought it was.
So
you know?
if you use one service where you just want like Instagram and Facebook, you don't give a fuck, you don't buy anything online. Yeah, I guess it would be cheaper. But when you're like people like us that use pretty much everything the internet has to offer, we're gonna be spending $150 a month on this shit.
Fuck that, man. I'll go back to the library.
That's actually a good point.
Remember last week we said like how long will it take before Vin brings it to the music or whatever? You said something politically or musically. I wanted to stop you, but I was like, I didn't stop you, but I just thought it was funny. Oh, there he is. He mentioned music, and I wanted to see how much time it was, but
That's what he did. Oh, there he is. He mentioned music. Listen, we all like music.
Yeah,
we can all
yeah.
relate to it.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things I know most about in my life. So I'm always going to go to that. I can use cars too, but it'll go over your head.
my head, cars don't go over my head.
They go under your body.
I go in the cars.
You go in the car.
All right.
It goes over your head.
There you go.
If I was to say like fucking...
I don't know. I'm stopping you there.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
no, say what you were gonna say.
I can't remember now. You made me forget.
That was a lawyer's tactic. Too bad I didn't become a lawyer.
You would have just been going like this all day. Aha! Please stop.
Objection!
Yeah. All he said was good day.
I object. It's raining outside.
Direct port nitrous injection.
Yeah. Anyways,
What does nitrous do to your car, Jono?
it makes it faster. I've seen Fast and the Furious Part 1.
How many?
Nitrous oxide, or as they called it, NOx.
NOx, yeah, that's it.
NOx is the company.
NOx, yeah.
NOx is the company. Basically, what nitrous oxide is, it's a gas, but it just burns much quicker, so that's why it go faster.
Apparently, what's it called? I think it's arginine. or citrulline malate. These are things that are in pre-workout drinks. It causes more nitric oxide in the muscles or some shit.
Nitric or nitrous?
Nitric. Oh, this is the same. This is different.
Yeah.
You see? Why didn't you tell me we were talking about something
I just
different?
did.
I'm just kidding.
Nitric acid, yeah, I can imagine.
Oxide.
Oxide. Nitric oxide. Nitrous oxide. NO2. Will push your car to its limits because it's like super, it burns really, really quickly. However, you also have to clean out your engine after that.
Oh, yeah? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
See, over your head.
Over my
Anyway.
You were just waiting for me to say I didn't know that.
Yes, I was.
Okay.
You have a stray mustache hair right here, and it's just like really sticking.
Yeah, I think I noticed it today. I
It's
think
a little
on
higher
this
up.
side. Yeah, somewhere.
Right under, right where your wall of your nose is, like right down here. You have to look in the mirror.
Yeah, I gotta look in the mirror.
Camera.
How do you like the white hairs? So you said I'm looking more and more like Charles.
Yeah.
How about Wolverine? No, not really.
No, Charles.
Charles?
Yeah. It's because of the rounded.
Listen
And the hair in the back.
Okay,
and
listen. This is Charles. This is an ode to Charles. So when Charles used to work at the call center, you would tell people that they're not going to owe you the world for a buck. And I guess,
I'm not gonna give you the world for a buck.
and I think what he was referring to is, we have a $1 trial
Okay.
to get access to the
Stuff,
website,
yeah.
and it's limited access. You don't get the full access
Yeah.
unless you pay for the monthly thing. So people would call in and complain, and Charles would be like, "Let's get serious. We're not gonna give you the world for a buck."
That's a fantastic line.
amazing.
It is,
Yeah.
but you can't be. That's not customer service.
Yeah, you don't really say that.
Let's get serious.
Well, did they let him go?
What?
Did they let him go?
Well, I told him you can't work at the call center. he had 2 jobs at that point. He was working in I think it was Risk, and he was working in the call center on weekends. And this was one of the things. Like, I was never there to hear these things. I was just told, dude, he said this. Like, you can't be saying this kind of stuff on the phone.
I would, if someone told me that, I'd be like, you know what, you have a point.
Yeah, you might, but when you're dealing with people that have potential charging back, and which is bad for the company,
Oh,
anyways,
yeah.
there's
Yeah, you
a whole
mentioned
other-
that.
There's
last
always
week.
a thing to say to people, right? I mean, I don't know what was your options or limitation, but for people that would be arguing about $1 at one point, it's like, come on, man, we can't give you don't think for $1 for 3 days you'll be able to download all the freaking video into your hard drive, then you're good,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Come on, man,
Because then after, yeah.
Spotify. You try to download every song and then cancel it. No, it doesn't work like that, buddy. Once that app's gone, it's
Yeah,
gone.
that's it.
Yeah, I couldn't understand why my Spotify wasn't working. I realized my 2 years was finally up.
You didn't pay per month?
No, I wasn't paying for 2 years.
Oh, that's right. That's you got it through your Rogers.
Yeah, Fido plan. So and now,
Fido,
so yeah, so I was like, but wait, okay, this band is there, but I can't use it. But this wasn't even the ones I downloaded. I was searching for something. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Okay, then I didn't think much of it, and then I was going on my way home, and I'm like, what happened to all my stuff? Why are they there, but I can't play them? It didn't make sense. And I thought about it. I'm like, fuck. Now I got to start paying again. I go check subscription. It's like free. I'm like, fuck. So yeah, I subscribe. Now I'm paying $9.99.
So am I. I'm always
a great
gonna pay
service.
$9.99. It's a fantastic service.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. It's good.
It's real good.
It's real good.
They're real
better-
good, yeah.
Way better than Apple Pay, Apple Music.
I like Apple Pay.
Yeah,
Actually, I'll tell you something. Ivy asked me if I bought something today. I just remembered I did. So I went to look for something, and it was on this website. Anyways, it's Jim Wendler.
DaVinci'sdick.com.
It's DaVinci'sdick.com. Anyways, it's 531. It's related to lifting, and he has a new book. And I didn't want to buy the book, but I wanted to see if it was on sale, and it was. But then I saw that it wasn't. But it said that there was like a keyword, not a keyword, a code.
Oh,
to put,
yes,
something
yes.
like that.
Yeah,
I think it was
code,
like it was black coffee. That was
promo
basically
code.
oh yeah, promo code. So black coffee is what I had to put. So I'm selecting my payment, and it says Apple Pay. So I'm like, oh, let me select Apple Pay, and then it's like asking for my thumbprint. I'm like, well, wait, I didn't get a chance to put anything, so I cancel, and I go and I select, let's say, Visa. I enter and I realize, okay, I still have room to put the code. I'm gonna cancel it. I don't want to keep my site off there. I'll just use Apple Pay. So I click back Apple Pay, do the thing, and boom, it went through without me having to
From
put
your
the
phone.
fucking promo code.
Yeah, I could.
Promo code.
You've been able to do that for years. though.
Anyway, so basically, I got fucked.
No, but you were on your computer and you order and you.
No,
he did it
not
from
my
his phone.
computer.
He doesn't
I did
have
it from
he
my
doesn't have a
phone.
computer.
My computer is like too
Oh,
old.
okay.
Yeah,
That's why I was impressed.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like shit, you know, you connect like.
No, but Apple Pay is cool. So Apple
yeah, it's
Pay,
great.
like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just select that
No.
and it works.
The
So-
Apple Store now, you can just walk in, scan
Right.
your thing, and leave. You
And
know,
leave,
like,
yeah.
Well, I don't know if you could do that. Whenever I buy something off my phone that's through an app, it'll use my fingerprint instead of a password to
Yeah,
authenticate.
it's a thumbprint.
Yeah.
But just to say, I wasn't able to enter the code, so I got fucked. Basically. But anyways, I'm like, no, I didn't want to pay full price.
Cancel it and do it again.
complain.
You can still do that if it's not sent. I've done that before.
I'll email him.
So,
Anyways.
do you have Apple Pay works great with the thumb, with the fingerprint scanner.
Yeah.
Without it, you gotta. It's not just like a credit card where you go.
Yeah, it's so quick.
Yeah, but I do this. This is what I do. Like, look,
You double click the home
you
screen.
double click, so it comes up. But I still, when I go put it over, I still have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's quicker than doing that scanning. And
Oh, right.
The iPhone 10 problem.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
true. I didn't
yeah.
think of that. So they have to scan your retina first,
And then-
oh, that's fucking stupid.
The look on your face.
Well, it
was
depends.
like, oh.
I never thought of
goes
that.
Quick. It depends how quick
It does,
it is.
dude.
you know?
No matter what, it'll never like. Let's say you have gloves on, trying to swipe up. Fuck, take the glove off, swipe it up.
I won't work with this with gloves as well. You know, like that's what
That's
I
true,
hate
that's true,
sometimes.
yeah.
Like
Sure, but you take one glove off and then paid. It's very quick.
Yeah.
But with the face thing,
Yeah,
it's not like instant.
no, this because
And
your
what if
thumb
there's
is right
bad
away on
lighting
it,
in
you know?
that store?
Yes. Well, they have that light that protrudes,
I
but
guess.
there's okay. My phone has the iris scanner, okay, and it's worked fantastic, and it works in the dark and in the light. Which they said, hey, you're gonna have some troubles in the dark. They're very open about it, and they haven't because the screen is so bright, it lights my eyes up. But it doesn't work every time, and it's the same thing for the iPhone 10. It's about the same. They say it's like 1 in every million, but it's not actually that true. And if you're a twin, there's a problem. They've twins.
really?
Twins have unlocked the phone, and like they did it on a YouTube video where they had a twin open look at it and it unlocked. But because your irises aren't the same between twins, that would change.
But it's iris scan the iPhone X. I thought it was like more
it's
the face.
face detection. Mine's an iris
So
scanner.
so a twin, I guess it makes sense that it would unlock the phone.
Sorry.
If it's
yes, exactly. Yeah, that's why the iris doesn't
Oh,
develop the same.
I didn't realize it was the face that it does. Yeah, so that's
the whole face,
It's
yeah.
true. Yeah, I didn't know it was the face because I remember seeing a meme online saying, "What about all these girls that put so much makeup?"
Well, it's
Right?
structure. It's structure of your face.
My cousin showed me something. Was it Google? Google image. Okay, so obviously, like, let's say it knows pretty much if we search ourselves on Google,
Yeah.
we will find at least one picture
Yeah,
of
of
us,
course,
right?
100%.
Okay, my cousin found, so there's his friend, his picture and everything. My cousin was uploading something to Google Images, and Google Images, a side profile with this guy having a beard and his hair down. It asked, so-and-so? Is this so-and-so? And gave the other picture, profile, like a straight picture
Yeah.
with no beard and his hair tied back. And it said, is it this guy? And my cousin was like, I can't believe it fucking can recognize it
Yeah,
from the side
deep
with
learning.
beard. And yeah,
The
it's
deep learning is really good for that.
it's fucking
the
crazy.
problem, like that I didn't think of, like I thought just now, was the iPhone 10. Imagine you're like a boxer or whatever, and you come with a really big black light.
you can't use your phone.
Yeah, so like that it changes the structure because it's supposed to be like correct and everything, right? So
It's fucked up shit.
imagine a big black guy, or I don't know, you get into a
A
fucking
big black guy.
yes, a big black guy, or you get into like a horrific tragic accident that changes your whole face. Now you can't unlock your phone.
Well, I guess you can always use the passcode.
You're right. I forgot about the
And
passcode.
scan your face again. I don't know.
Anyway.
It's just annoying. I hate that restarting my phone. I have to put in the
Me,
passcode.
because eventually
even though
I
know what
will
to do.
have the 10 or the 11 or whatever, but I really like the thumbprint, man. It works so well,
Wait
man.
a few years because the people who are designing the fingerprint through the glass
Yes.
isn't Apple or Samsung. It's the people who that make the Snapdragon.
Okay.
So once they
What's the
develop
Snapdragon?
it's the microchip in the Samsung.
Okay.
But Apple works with them too. They take what they have and then they make it their own.
Right.
So they're developing the glass, the fingerprint through the glass.
That'll be cool.
Yeah. So it's just once it's done, they'll both have it at the same time, whoever comes out first. But it's not an innovation that Apple or Samsung is doing.
I just think it's stupid that the iPhone 10 doesn't have a plus version. And I also don't like the fact that they call it a 10, but they
It's an
spell
X.
it with an X.
Yeah.
It would actually be cool if they had the S version and then they would just call it XS. That sounds cool to me.
That would be, yeah, I could see
anyways,
that.
but just saying, like I find it stupid that like they have the 8S and the X with no S.
But I don't think it's this size. I think it's bigger than this one.
It's a bit bigger, I think.
Still, man, it's like if you're someone like me that's used to a big phone, that's a big turnoff going to a small phone.
I
for
think
me.
I understand.
Unless
why
I
they
didn't
don't.
like it. If I don't like the big, then yeah, I get it. I'll go with an iPhone
I think
10.
it's the reason why they didn't is a variety of factors. First, they couldn't get enough screens. Screen size was a big issue for the OLED. This is a really big screen, but it's Samsung who makes it, so they were making sure that they
had enough.
You had enough. For Apple, Samsung still has to make their own, so they were giving them they bought them, but they only can make a certain size, and they were having issues with the screen getting it done.
Yeah.
Right? It was taking a long time. So there's a whole bunch of factors to why they probably didn't have a 10. Not the least of which is the price of the phone, which US was $1,000 for the low end, for the less space, and the most space was like $1,300.
Fucking crazy.
Imagine having a plus version, which was sort of like $1,150, and then $1,500 US for the 256. And then coming down here, that's like $1,800.
Man, guys, we're approaching $2,000 phones.
Well,
approaching
wait,
this.
you're jumping. That's if they made a plus.
Yeah. But
They will.
We're,
They will.
we're approaching this.
No,
I never thought I'd see Samsung have a really expensive phone. Like, to me, it was always like, oh, well, one thing that they had over, I guess, like Apple was
It was cheaper
Was
phones,
cheaper.
yeah.
But now it's like, dude, they still have their cheap phones, but now they're having big expensive phones.
Their
Also,
high-end
they're high-end
phones are
phones.
super high-end, yeah. Well, this can only go on for so long. They're already thinking of what's going to be after the generation of smartphones, super phones actually.
Super phones.
Well, these are technically super phones. If you go back to when a smartphone came out, it was a BlackBerry, and what could you do with that? You can go on the internet and you can send emails and everything, but this is way more than what a BlackBerry was. And they started calling super phones this back in 2011, 2012. Those are super phones. The thing that they're doing.
Never heard it before.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. What kind of security did you have on a BlackBerry?
Security?
Yeah. You can maybe put a lock number, but now look, security.
But I'm just saying,
unlock
I'm
with
not saying the
fingerprints.
phones are way much better, but I never heard that term before. Super
Yeah, I
phone.
never heard of that term.
Oh, I
That's what
have.
I'm
I have
saying.
it. When it was starting to cut the stuff like the fingerprint scanner and the retina
Okay.
scanners and stuff like that. Like these are new now, but they were talking about implementing them years ago. Those were that's a super phone.
Okay.
Because before it was just a phone. You can go on the internet. Those are smartphone because it can go on the internet. Now this is like this big security hub. You put all your life in there. Some people don't even need a computer anymore. It's a super phone.
I know, like Samsung started like to have like
The dock. Everyone had,
Dude,
has had
once
docks for a while.
Microsoft needs to do that, man. Like Surface Phone or something, man, where this is your computer, you have your dock
that's-
there. That'll be awesome.
That's actually
man.
what the speculation is.
I hope
Microsoft
they
has
do it,
been
man.
very tight-lipped, and it's almost like a big role reversal from 10 years ago with Apple, where Apple was all about the design of it, and it works and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Now that's kind of like Microsoft with their Surface line. Their Surface line, it's beautiful,
Yeah.
and it works flawlessly. It's fantastic, and the reason that they build the hardware now is to help them make Windows better.
Apparently, with the Surface, the way you take the keyboard and you put it on, that click noise that
Yeah.
it makes. So Microsoft even researched with people, like surveyed people with that the noise that it makes.
Satisfying.
How satisfying the clicking sound is. So when they found the sound that they felt that the majority of the people that they were making them hear sounded great, they said that's the
the
click.
sound.
Yeah.
So just the stupid click sound they researched.
So
I love the dock, man. Like just the switch, like it's like I mean for what it is, I like the console.
That thing
I know
is fucking flimsy, though.
I know you don't, but just the feeling that you're playing on your screen and you just take it off and you continue.
you like the
and you walk
feedback,
away,
yeah.
and you put it back and it's right away. Like it's seamless. It's very cool for that.
Feedback that you putting it down
Yeah.
is actually a part of good design. You want
Yeah.
like doors that don't make any noise. It's not good feedback. You don't know if it's open or not. Even though you can see it, you need a feedback. Same
Yeah.
thing with like you have the two bars on each side of the door. Which one's to pull? Which one's to push? They should only have a plate. That's good design. Apple, Microsoft now has been really into the design and just making things work to make Windows better. So the speculation is the next generation of phones isn't just making this better and putting more features. It's the Surface phone.
Yeah.
And it's so they don't. There's only speculation that they're building one. They don't. Microsoft hasn't.
But how
said
would
anything.
it be a Surface phone? Like what?
With a dock. It's a phone, you
Well,
dock it, then it's a full Windows.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. That's the speculation that they're working on it because Microsoft is doing such amazing things with different categorizations and their actual Surface.
So sort of like connecting to an Apple TV, but not
No,
really.
no,
No,
even
no,
like
like,
this would
yeah.
be the computer. You plug it, clack, you take your mouse, and you.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can
okay.
yeah.
I get it.
They would have to use a different structure for
Right.
the processor, but there's speculation that Microsoft's working on that,
Right.
Because they're very tight-lipped about that stuff now, and they haven't even announced it. Like they keep saying they're not in the mobile business for it now. They're going to see where it goes because they failed before, and part of that failure was because they didn't take everything that accounts. It's like they were just putting out another phone.
Yeah, they bought Nokia and they did nothing with them, right? I mean,
Yeah, they tried and it failed. They just weren't
Yeah,
ready
they-
for it. They were too far out of the game. But if
Nokia.
they redefine the category to be Surface phone, like you could literally do anything.
that would
with
be
this.
awesome. I would
yeah.
pay 2,000 for that. You know, like it's.
I probably would too.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be a beautiful phone that
Yeah.
works better than any phone we've ever seen before. You won't. It'll work like an Apple for like it just works, but not be a walled garden. And on that
And
note,
on that
on
note,
that note.
because I know you want like you need to go.
I have to go.
'cause
Yeah,
you're going on a trip.
I'm going on a trip. I won't be here. I guess next podcast. I don't know.
Probably
knows?
not.
Who
Well, we'll
knows?
see. Depends.
We'll see.
Do it.
I go to England and Poland for work
England and Poland in the same trip.
in the same trip. I gotta
Oh,
go
shit.
mine fucking potatoes.
Good stuff.
So final confessions.
I just want to make sure they keep the internet as is. You know, I like to have access to everything. I know it costs a lot. It's unlimited. I'm fine with it. Bring some type of unlimited data
Canada.
options on this phone. It's fucking ridiculous. You know,
phone,
like I
yeah.
have to manage. I have 10 gigs and throughout the month, I always look every now and then to make sure I'm not going to bust because this is where they get your money.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Actually, I agree with that. I would like it if we can have, even if it's not unlimited. You know, even if it's 60 gigs. Well, give me fucking 60 gigs because I think 60 gigs I'd have a hard time reaching. Maybe I'm saying that now, but if I had it,
Have you ever even reached 10 gigs?
Yeah, every month.
Yeah. You know what
Really?
I've done? You know what I've done?
always on
with
them.
Fido. You have those unlimited 1 hour.
Yeah, you use
gig.
those, yeah.
I have used those a couple of times, and you know I've actually used about a gig's worth just with one of those. So, anyways, I'm okay. Did I go over 10 gigs? No, but I've come extremely close.
Close, okay.
9.6, let's say, gigs
Okay.
used in a month. So that, and I'm still very interested in the microbiome. Like, I feel like this is
It's new.
It's new, but it's like it looks like it has a lot of promise, potential and promise.
Just know that if you want to get thin,
And it's
take
something.
it thin, guys. Shit. Stick it up your ass.
I remember I was talking about like how they cured diabetes in the rats.
Yeah.
They did the same thing in the reverse, and they gave diabetes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Diabetes.
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 He's Greek.
So my final confessions for net neutrality, I agree. I have 10 gigs a month. I've only gone over it when I went to Wildwood or if I'm not using Wi-Fi. I think if I were to legitimately have a 20 gig plan, I would never go over it.
Yeah, I think
But
20
I
is
also, to that acknowledgement, the internet gets more and more packed with data every year. So eventually I will hit that 20 gig mark. I think the microbiome thing is fantastic and should be studied way more. Well, it is being studied a lot now, but I think a lot more research should be done and take it time with it. Also, I think if you really want to diversify your bacteria, take the 4 days, change your diet a little bit. No, it doesn't have to be about losing weight or gaining weight. It's just about you want to feel better. That'll make you feel better. Can't wait. If there's a Surface phone out there, Microsoft, please bring it to me. Please. I love the Samsung, but if there was a Surface phone, holy fuck.
Yeah.
See ya!
Goodbye,
Bye.
motherfuckers! We out.